Hi, everyone. We're live. Welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Just waiting for Cesar to join us. Oh, there we go. Hey, Cesar.
Hey, how are
Um,
you guys after a long weekend, right?
yeah, much needed for
Nice.
all of us, I think.
Definitely.
Um, yeah, so today we have a really special guest, and he's here to talk to everyone about a few changes that took place in the law recently that is going to affect Florida contractors and business here. So let's welcome the president of Air Quality Assessors, as well as the president of the Restoration Association of Florida, Richie Kidwell.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Hey,
Thanks.
Richie. Good. How are you?
Yeah,
Hey,
no, I'm
Richie.
Fix
getting
my
you.
camera.
Yeah, nice to meet you virtually. I'm still getting used to this whole virtual thing, you know.
Yeah, we are
Um,
too, honestly.
Yeah.
I got
so I
used to it
guess,
because Caesar's virtual, so I gotta talk to him like this. um,
no, but thank you so much for having me. We have been going around talking, at least through the Restoration Association of Florida, just to inform contractors that work directly with consumers. So I feel like we're very consumer protective when we're looking at how we want to proceed as an industry, as independent contractors that are supporting consumers who do what they should do, and that's pay their insurance premiums every month, and in their one time of need to have that equal protection, so to speak, of when I'm paying my bills on time, and then the one time I need you to pay up and not delay, deny, and defend my claim for years and years gone, further. And then
mhm.
we have barely any recourse, and you see policies starting to come into play in Florida, like American Integrity filed their policy change to have all disputes end in binding arbitration, where each party must bear their own fees and costs. They have to pay for their own expert. They have to pay for their own lawyer.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, if somebody's trying to sue for $10,000 for their roof, so to speak, and it's exactly $10,000, they don't have any room to pay experts and attorneys. They need every penny that they can. So this will definitely affect a lot of consumers who are not saving up for that one time of loss and need. So the Restoration Association of Florida and AQA, my company, filed suit against the OIR and American Integrity and Heritage for filing those types of policy changes.
Hmm.
And so that has gone pretty well so far. We've had the defendants slowly finally take a seat, so we're beginning our litigation, and
Okay.
we'll be looking towards getting a resolution on that, which would be to deem them unconstitutional, to deem it to where they're denying the homeowner access via due process to the court systems, and also the Equal Protection Act violation. So
Hmm.
we've been very active in the legislature the past several years, since really 2014 when I got involved,
Oh
and
wow.
soon after that formed the Restoration Association of Florida. And since then, we have hundreds of members in the state of Florida, independent contractors. This past year, we had some recent law changes in Senate Bill 2D. It was multiple things. They added more roof solicitation language in there. If you do have some roofers that are on here, it's like, what did change? Well, there's more notice language that they put in. If you remember hearing that it was challenged, Senate Bill 76 was for two parts. Gale Force came in and filed suit and got a very quick injunction on that as deemed unconstitutional for the prohibition for roofers to knock on doors and offer their services and or something of value in exchange for a roof inspection. And
Hmm.
so that was deemed unconstitutional, and we believe that this will be too. Last month, we also have a lawsuit pending on Senate Bill 76. We recently amended it to include this new language in Senate Bill 2D, and what that's going to mean is that the courts gave us an extra 3 months to amend our case. We did that last week,
Okay.
and we're now including this. And the reason why we're doing that is because Gale Force lawsuit looks like it'll be dismissed based off of that was their one pointed focus of that prohibition of solicitation, and that was granted unconstitutional. Now, this language will replace that Senate Bill 76 language. So if that lawsuit gets dismissed, then we'll still have our lawsuit pending for Senate Bill 76. And I'll be talking at least to the Gale Force guys and their lawyer to see if, we'd want to join forces on that and continue litigating. So this is still pretty early on. So I look forward to, talking with them and hopefully finding that this new notice or waiver language that has to be in all solicitation, whether it be in email, whether it be, in any print. If you leave a door knocker, it needs to have this 12-point font at minimum waiver that you cannot waive their deductible, certain things that you have to now have in your outward promotions. Nobody else in the United States has to have, but we do here in Florida. So we think that'll be very quickly deemed unconstitutional.
Okay. And what do you mean by unconstitutional when you use that word?
Sure. It's violating our act of right to free speech. We should be able to, knock on a door just as equally as somebody selling a vacuum cleaner door to door, just as equally as a politician knocking on the door and saying, "Hey, vote for me, don't vote for him." And we see that all the time. But why cut out a specialty around roofers and suggest that they can't freely market and even offer something of value? That's one thing that my lawsuit is containing, that I believe that a contractor should be able to pay another contractor a referral fee. If there's a general contractor doesn't want to do the roof and gives it to a roofer, and the roofer gives them a gift basket or something of value in exchange for that lead, well, just because there's insurance proceeds payable in that, it would make it a third-degree felony and $10,000 fine per occurrence. So that's why it's unconstitutional. It's not fair, and we're hoping to keep the tables even here. And so there hasn't been a unified voice in this industry, and so for years, and so we hope to create that. The insurance companies have all of their multiple lobbyists and seemingly ungodly amounts of money to be able to put at this. They change messages and suggesting there's a crisis, and gotten some laws to change very quickly. And I'll wrap up here. The last two bills that went through the Senate was Senate Bill 2D and 4D, where they set to remove assignment of benefit attorney's fees on any assignment of benefits signed after Friday, May 27th. So on or after Friday, May 27th, if there was an AOB signed on that date this year, then you will not have the right for attorney's fees and costs when you prevail. And so we filed suit on that. If you see in the recent headlines, that's moving pretty quickly. We hope to get an injunction put on that right there. It's a Equal Protection Act violation, and it's a due process violation as well here, that we think we have a really good chance of getting our injunction. We hope to get it in the next 30 to 60 days. If we do, we'll obviously be telling everybody, and it'll revert back to normal. So there would be no gap if we get our injunction heard in the next 30 to 60 days. And then Senate Bill 4D, which was, people don't understand why there was two bills. I don't really, but they split up insurance versus the Florida building code changes, where it says that if there are damages to a roof, it can be, and if it's in compliance with the 2007 Florida building code, well, then it can be repaired according to the 2007 Florida building code. So they're picking on 15 years of a roof age, right? So if you go back 15 years, they're saying if it's compliance there, then you can repair it up to that amount, which therefore deleting the 25% rule that you'll see in subsequent Florida building codes. Like currently we're in the 2020 Florida building code. Every 3 years they come up with a new Florida building code, and some things may change. This is what they want them to change. So basically saying that you can repair a 50% or 70% or 80% of the roof system if it was built in the past recent 15 years and it's in compliance with the 2007 Florida building code. So who judges that? Who knows that? I don't know. But
so why are they targeting this industry right now?
It's the boogeyman theme. It's who can we blame on rising cost of insurance rates? In 2013, right before I got involved, it was a sinkhole. It was, it's a sinkhole. That's why our premiums are on the rise. And then from 2014 to 2019, the boogeyman was the restoration contractors, the RAF contractors. The Restoration Association was then formed, so we can change that whole montage of them saying that it's the restoration contractors that are getting here, ripping out floor to ceiling before the adjusters get out here in the guides under emergent urgent services. So then you expect me, the insurance company, to rebuild that, put that back. You know, in some instances, it's absolutely called for you to rip out that material before it gets worse. And so they made that change in 2019, and we had the AOB reform 2019. 2020, there wasn't really a sexy headline. It was reinsurance for a quick minute. Everybody knew it was reinsurance rates were on the rise. It wasn't that sexy. So very quickly, it reverted to roofers and attorneys. It must be roofers, must be attorneys that are causing all this. They knock on doors after a storm, telling people of their rights to be able to file a claim, a valid claim for damages under their policy that they pay every month for, trying to make that illegal so they have a boogeyman. And it worked, right? I mean, everybody believed that it's the scrupulous roofers and contractors. And then I asked them, I said, really, that's crazy. I said, where are the mug shots? There must be tons of arrests. You know, show me them. I'd love to see those headlines.
Right.
And nothing.
You know something, Richie? Last year we did have a webinar, you know, with the contractors that we work with, and we were talking exactly about that, about SB 76. Everybody was shaking. Everybody was very confused, especially, you know, with the how to proceed, how to continue with their business, if they were going to use an AOB or a direction pay agreement. So in this case, Richie, with these laws, what changed? I know that you already mentioned the assignment of benefits a moment ago, but can you explain that? You know, because you know that you got a lot of contractors who are really informed, but you also got those that they just want to work, they want to get on the roof, fix the roof. But how are they going to be affected? How is the way that they are going to proceed?
Sure, that's a great question. You know, from what I'm understanding in the roofing industry, there's two types of either roofing specialties or however you want to call it. You know, your retail roofs, the ones that the homeowner's paying you right now, you're just going to go ahead and get that done. And then you have the folks that either can't afford it or choose to use the insurance route. Right. So when you're looking at that insurance route, the answer is this: is I still love the AOB. You know, 50% of the time or more, usually statistics show the AOB is paid, right? And the contractor gets to continue having their name on that check. Because the biggest thing that is happening in the roofing world and the insurance side of it is that you use a contingency agreement or service authorization, your name is not on that check. If it does go to litigation, it's a year or two later, you've forgotten about it. The homeowner's forgotten about you. All they know is the lawyer's name. And then when that money comes, it's coming just with the homeowner's info. They're either going to be in a tough spot and go on vacation. They're gonna find somebody to do it cheaper. You're gonna lose that job, right? So how do you guarantee you keep that job, and or even better yet, to keep it on your accounts receivable? And that's by keeping the AOB, signing it up. Let's say we don't get, let's say worst case scenario, it sticks where we don't have attorney's fees and costs on that. And in a case, you just tell the consumer, in 90 days, I may come back to you if I don't get paid. This has to go to the next level. I'm going to reassign these benefits back to you, homeowner. Right? I'm going to keep the benefit, but I'm going to put the rights in, back to you. And then you're going to, we already have a separate agreement called a service authorization direction to pay with letter of protection language in there. That's between me and the homeowner. They sign up on day one. So yes, you sign up two agreements, an AOB, and you also sign an agreement between you and the insured with a letter of protection. If it does happen to go to suit, then you will have this agreement that's already built in, and you will be able to maybe make a suggestion to that homeowner. Here are my 3 top attorneys that I love to use. Choose one of them, and then I'll send my paperwork to them. And then this letter of protection guarantees the contractor of getting that money. Now, let's say they still want to continue that asset and build the roof for the homeowner. Well, there are financing and factoring companies out there available that'll buy 2 things, AOB or an LOP, right? An AOB, an assignment of benefit contract with an invoice, or a letter of protection by a law firm. You can still build the roof ahead of time and talk to your client about those finance rates that you can offer them, that they don't even have to use their credit. So there's so many ways that you can still keep control of this if you do it the right way. So yeah, it's a little bit more communication up front. Homeowner, you may have to file suit in your name in 90 days, and then you'll protect the whole claim and any vendor involved, right, with this letter of protection. But again, using the AOB up front keeps you in the driver's seat as a contractor. It keeps the homeowner away from having to answer all the phones all the time and have to deal with those tough questions and estimates and all that. You handle all that as the contractor assigned to it. So that's what I suggest to everybody. AOB is very, very alive and well. If we're able to make a constitutional challenge on this, it'll be a moot point. We'll all be back to normal. But right now, you can still use the AOB. That's what I'm recommending. Have the second letter of protection document signed between you and the homeowner. We have those available on our website, raflorida.org. When you go there, you can just send an email, or all members get all of our documents, which are done by our legal committee. We have about 40 attorneys in our legal committee. They're all plaintiff attorneys, so we give free advice to our members. So we just try to ensure we give you the best, most up-to-date type of information. And that's going to be path of least resistance. You want to keep your name on the check, stay with AOBs for insurance jobs, do the letter protection, have them choose one of your top 3 lawyers to keep, that claim in the family, and you get paid first on that letter of protection
Right.
as soon as it settles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And we've been saying that too. We've been saying that for a while. Direction of pay is so important.
It is,
Yes.
and it's good to keep that. It's much better when you have an assignment of benefits and in the forefront, so you can get through all those communication parts up front. You can ensure that they're doing the right thing and staying within their 14-day timetables. And you're going to be upfront, or at least, know when these payments are going to come and what the claim is going to look like and shape up with when you got to take it to the next part, if so need be.
I actually do have a question for you. In general, what led you to this? How did you end up? Because I know you were in your business. You're running your business. What led you to the Restoration Association of Florida? Because you were one of the founders.
Yes, and it was really just figuring out the industry. After 2012, we had a law change that if there's mold over 10 square feet in Florida, then you have to be a separate licensed mold assessment company, a separate licensed mold remediation company. And so I just started I sold my pest control company in 2013 and moved to just full-time doing mold inspections. And due to that law change, and there was a lot of restoration companies coming, searching for their mold guy at that point. And I just found the assignment of benefits contract, and that very next year, and that's how I was gaining traction in my business. It was easy for me to market and say, listen, tell your insured that I know they weren't expecting this extra invoice to come up. Like most people just going to call ServPro when they got water coming out of their door. They aren't going to call a mold assessment company, right? So our leads usually come from those first responders. And so we would market to them. And our way of saying, you don't have to pay me anymore. The homeowner doesn't have to pay me anymore. I can bill directly to the claim. And so it was that basis at first, and it light bulb for a lot of us. And there was no real single unified voice in the industry. So I'll either be a part of it. It's just the way I am. I'll either be a part of the biggest association, or if there's not one, then I'll help create one. And so we've been able to really spread the word and let everybody know, if you're going to do business and be a good business owner here in Florida and do it the right way, be a part of our organization. We'll let you know what's coming up with the laws before it hits. And when the law does change or hit, how to maneuver in that industry. I've been able to continually grow my business through all these changes, and I've been able to help others grow their business through all these changes. And most people don't want to stick it out and give up, and then that leaves the rest of us to pick up that market share and grow our businesses even more by doing it the right way.
Right. Cool. Cesar, do you have any other questions for him?
Great. So far, I mean, it's been very clear, though. I do have to mention, in a way, yes, it is a little bit complicated, especially if you're not into law, if you're not into the bills, right, or the news. A lot of contractors are like that. Now, from our let's say stand, we as public adjusters, how can we help our contractor partners? So, what would you recommend, Richie?
That's a great question. We have a lot of public adjuster friends in this, and like I like to explain, is like we're all necessary, to a viable claim. All of us, the public adjuster, to the mitigation company, to the inspection company, and the roofers, and we're all in one sphere of influence, and we should all be helping each other out as much as we can, and really sharing that information. Us AOB contractors that have a hold harmless to the homeowner, without that, it's going to be a much more difficult process to help the homeowner when they're in a difficult claim. They're in a denied claim or in a paused claim. They bring a public adjuster. The good thing that a public adjuster can do is recommend to their resources that will not charge them up front. They will not lien their home if they don't get paid. They're going to be searching for these partners that can still use this tool that's very available under every policy with this assignment of benefits. It's a very important tool. So I think education is key for us, and letting our people know, because there are public adjusters that come to our RAF meetings to know what's going on, so they can tell their contractors, hey, this is how RAF is saying to do this. Use this contract. That way it holds my homeowner harmless. And that's how they get it from referrals. If they do a really good job for one neighbor, they're going to tell their other neighbors. If they don't have to come out of pocket and they get everything settled, they get their roof on, money in their hands, and no money out of pocket up front, it's going to be perfect for them, for the consumer, and they're going to tell their friends. So I think it's important for us and public adjusters to continue to be in the know as well. Just like we should know what's going on in your world, with how you can expand your business and having a license holder in each other operation. And, it's important for us to know what's going on so we can better help, sell you guys and vice versa to our clients.
Very much agree.
Yes.
Great.
All right. Do we have any other questions? I feel like, I did want to ask you actually. So I posted in one of the groups and you responded to it. I don't know if you remember that. It was about one of the laws that you were saying that it's not really changing, not necessary. Do you remember that at all?
Yes.
Or no? Okay.
Yes.
Why do you say that from your point of view? And
So
if you can talk about the law a little bit and explain it, and then because everyone had their own like they all had their own like thoughts on it.
yeah, I mean, that was the AOB transfer, prevailing party attorney's fees, is the big topic. It was on one of I think it was Level the Playing Field, or one of those Facebook large loss pages, and it was somebody asking, and a lawyer, or first talking within contractors about the AOB, and suggesting that it might be dead. Hey, are we back to what's going on in Florida kind of thing? Everything's off. Can I say fuck? Everything's all fucked up in Florida. So so what are we going to do? And somebody's like, yeah, AOBs are dead. And I was like, no, guys, actually, it's not. AOBs are very live and well. And that the cutoff date is when the law says it was going to change Senate Bill 2D, which was that removal of attorney's fees and cost, right? So it's not dead. So the transfer still exists of all of the rights, all of the benefits. That's the biggest thing. You want the benefit of that money once it comes. Your name is on that. So you're a beneficiary, so to speak, right? And so the right for transfer of fees is one little nugget of the whole AOB transfer, right? So when you have to go and file suit, that's when it changes. And so the cutoff date was when the governor signed the bill that made it into law, which was Thursday, May 26th. So that was at night. So the very next day was Friday, May 27th. So that's when the cutoff date is, Thursday, Friday. So anything signed Thursday, 26th and before still has full rights for attorney's fees. So if you have an AOB that was signed May 26th, you can still do through the full collection process, send it to a third-party lawyer, and they'll still be able to get their fees and costs paid when they prevail. Right. So Friday is that day where it starts. Now, one of the lawyers on that page, great guy, we talk all the time, made a suggestion and said, well, I'm just suggesting, and he says, and the contractor says, okay, well, who's right? I got lawyers telling me this. I get this guy who I just met on Facebook telling me this, so he tagged both of us, and the lawyer's like, well, actually, yes, Richie's right. However, I'm not recommending AOBs be signed after that date of transfer, simply for not having the right to have full attorney's fees and costs. And so that's a fair statement from a lawyer who wants to be able to bill their fees and costs, full amount of fees and costs. Because think about this, what I'm also telling contractors is what I told them at the RAF thing. Now, if you're going to do these collections and you're going to still send it to a third-party attorney, well, your costs just went up 30%. Your cost to collection just went up. Every line item now that's dated after Friday, May 27th, should have a 30% increase on every single line item. And you should still have your overhead and cost, overhead and profit on the tail end. And you should be able to collect every single penny of it, because when it goes to litigation, you're going to have to, most attorneys are going to charge you 30% to the contractor. And most attorneys will take them if they're over 15,000, right? So any invoice over 15,000, usually they'll take it. That's just what I'm hearing from some of the attorneys, right? This is like, hey, listen, I want an invoice over 15,000, I want 30%, and I want all their business, and maybe I'll do all their pre-suit collections at 10%, 10%, 30%. So I said, okay, well then that, again, if 50% of your stuff is going to go to litigation, then your cost of collection just went up by 30%. So you can collect that. Now the early payers, the ones that you have relationships with, you give them that instant 30% discount for paying quickly. Everybody wins. The insurance company gets their discount, quick pay, and it also continues to have enough meat on the bone for the contractor to file suit and keep the AOB in their name. And so, again, I mean, most attorneys make over 30% of an invoice, unless it's over, 100,000 or whatever. So prevailing party is better for them, right? And so, but there will be that market. That market will have to change to where attorneys are going to have to start, doing this and taking AOBs with just knowing that they can get their costs. They can't get fees, but they can get their cost back. And so that's where the decisions are going to have to be made. And some folks are already increasing their prices to reflect that. My company did specifically as well. So on AOB engineering, we're going to have to still have enough money to be able to offer engineering on AOB. Because let's be honest, most people that need it don't have the money for it. So my company's still offering that. And so we believe by adding 30% to my invoice, I can still get them collected if it goes to litigation. So that's where we live in right now. That's what I'm recommending, to people. And that's why there's that difference, right? Some attorneys that say, just bring me the client. If you bring me the client, I'll get you paid. Now, if you don't have that letter of protection set up, then there's no guarantee that you're going to get paid. Because remember, that attorney now doesn't work for you. The attorney works for the homeowner. And unless they have that LOP, you don't have any skin in the game at all. So again, you can tell I'm very pro AOB, and I can I'd be happy to even go to somebody's office and teach them how to do that. I had a roofing company shut down after 2019 came in, and because they couldn't figure it out until I went there and I spent a week with them, and they opened back up and are just absolutely killing it, and just the right way. So.
Okay. So I mean, if someone wanted to reach out to you, how could they do that? Just so, like, to ask you about all these questions, if they wanted to dive deeper into it.
Sure. I would say the Restoration Association of Florida is the best place to reach me. Our email is simple. It's info at raflorida.org, info at raflorida.org, or our website. It stands for Restoration Association, raflorida.org. You go there, and we just have some, of our recent events, what we do, our advocacy stuff, as well as our recent articles in the news, those types of things for you to check out. And then our membership offerings that we have there on the website are all there.
So they can join the group.
Absolutely.
And be a part. Okay, great.
Absolutely.
All right. So again, you guys can just go to the website, raflorida.org, right?
That's right.
Yes. Well, okay. Thank you so much, Richie, for your time.
Richie.
Yes, we appreciate it. Thanks for diving into these topics with us. And again, if you want to reach out to him, go do so. He can take you through all of this much deeper and talk about it with your business specifically. And yeah, so thanks everyone. We will see you guys on this coming Thursday at 1 p.m.
Yep.
Yes.
Definitely. And thank you so much. And I'm sorry, Richie.
Yeah, I said thank you. Thank you again so much for having me. This was great.
Yes,
thank you for joining us, Richie. And for you out there, thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, remember, if you're not watching this video live, you can still send messages. You can still send your questions.
Yes.
And yes, we will answer to those. Okay. But in the meantime, Noah, thank you so much. Richie, thank you so much. We'll be live again on Thursday. So we'll see you
Yes.
till then.
We'll see you all then. Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye bye.